Fancy dinners, vacations, and country clubs. Some former lawmakers are still spending their campaign funds long after they've left office. And tonight, we are following the money. Charlotte Huffman investigates so-called zombie campaigns.
You write a check to support a state lawmaker's campaign. You think the money gets used for the campaign. But what if we told you we found $9 million in leftover Texas campaign donations? These former North Texas representatives have $2.2 million left over. They're not alone. We dug into the campaign accounts of nearly 400 state lawmakers who are no longer in office. We found campaign accounts still flush with cash. They're not leaving the money in the bank, they're spending it, years after leaving the state legislature. Sometimes the campaign money even gets spent after the lawmaker is dead.
I've gotten some support on the floor.
Take State Senator Mario Gallegos of Houston, for example. He died with $45,000 in leftover campaign donations. Let's follow the money. There were salary bumps for staff and election day expenses, even though the candidate was dead. Is that even legal? The state couldn't tell us for sure. Rodney Ellis of Houston had a whopping $2 million in his campaign fund when he left the state legislature. We pulled his campaign account filing. What's all this? New York Stock Exchange? Is he buying and selling stocks with his campaign money?
And it's all legal.
It's all legal.
Dave Jones is a Dallas attorney. He's also the president of Clean Elections Texas.
I think most people don't expect that they'd be able to use their excess campaign funds in all the different ways that they can.
Jones says the law is lax. In fact, the only real hard and fast rule is no personal use of campaign funds.
Whatever that means. And it's a pretty darn broad definition.
How broad? Let's look at former Representative Kevin Eltife from Tyler. He has one of the biggest leftover campaign funds in the state, $972,000.
I'm just asking about hard, cold numbers.
He used his old campaign donations to fly to California. He spent 3 days at the Beverly Hills Hotel on Sunset Boulevard. The tab? More than $7,000. Legal? Yep, because the trip wasn't personal. It was state business. You see, when Eltife left the legislature, he became a University of Texas system regent. The trip and luxury hotel was for a chancellor's meeting. And since UT is a state school, that counts as state business.
Used to be a senator for 20 years.
Ken Armbruster is the only one who agreed to talk to us on camera. He has $744,000 in leftover campaign donations. He's no longer in office. He's a lobbyist.
I get calls all the time, I'm having this or having that, or can you help this?
He gives most of it away to charity, but none, he says, bear his own name.
I don't have a church with my name on it, so charity with their name on it, what would that be? Gee whiz.
How about the Brian McCall Charitable Foundation? The head of it is, you guessed it, former Plano Representative Brian McCall. When he left the state house, he emptied his $683,000 campaign fund into his own charity. Legal? Sure is.
And I'm once again declaring ethics reform to be an emergency item this session.
Last session, Governor Greg Abbott called on lawmakers to clean up politics. House Bill 505 makes it illegal for lawmakers who become lobbyists to give their leftover campaign money to their buddies who are still in the legislature. It takes effect in 2019, but even it has a built-in loophole.
If you want to give your money to somebody, all you have to do is stop being a lobbyist. And there's nothing that prevents you from starting up again.
Bottom line, as SMU political science professor Cal Gilson says, real fixes are probably unlikely.
Politicians are writing the rules that govern them.
They're not going to take away their own campaign funds.
Yeah, right. The candy's in the jar. All you got to do is reach in and take a piece, and so they do.
So the next time you write a check to support your favorite politicians run for office, remember, those donations often last long after the campaigning is over. Charlotte Huffman, Channel 8 News.